Thank you, Eyecelerator. Thank you for the panelists for leading this session. So very pleased to be here to give an update on Oculis. So Oculis is a biopharma company focusing on two franchises, ophthalmology and neuro-ophthalmology, with three candidates. Actually, the three candidates are in phase 3. OCS-01, which is potentially the first topical product for the retina in DME. We are expecting results in the first half of June, so it's coming. The second asset is licaminlimab, is a TNF inhibitor in eye inflammation, in development in uveitis and dry eye. In dry eye, we have an approach which is totally different from what we do in ophthalmology, actually, which is based on genotyping patients before enrolling them. The focus is to develop a precision medicine approach in dry eye. And the last product is Privosegtor. Privosegtor is first neuroprotective drug. As you know, we use neuroprotection as a buzzword for the last 50 years. For the first time ever, we have data showing that we can have a real neuroprotective effect, improving function, protecting the structure, and showing concretely in surrogate biomarkers that we have less neuroaxonal damage in the brain and in the retina. So this is our pipeline. As I said, two franchises focus. I would say the short-term focus is concretely on OCS-01, and this is what I will be covering in this session. The licaminlimab readout is planned for the end of the year, and the next year we expect readout on Privosegtor on optic neuritis in a first trial, which is called Pioneer-1, which has been initiated. So OCS-01, this is the data we all know. We start to treat DME late. Only 40% of the patients are treated in the US. These are the US data, and my assumption, my hypothesis actually is the same or perhaps worse elsewhere. So therefore, we have, let's say, 40 to half of patients treated. 60% of patients are not retreated. And then you ask the question, perhaps it is okay. Perhaps actually it's okay to treat only moderate to severe and mild, we can wait. And interestingly, the Lucentis phase 3 trial respond to this question. Lucentis trial, Rise and Ride, which you all know, was a 3-year trial. We did the crossover at month 24. Patients were similar at randomization. In this case, the half of patients were lucky and they were treated with Lucentis, which changed their vision. And the other half received sham. And then the sham group was moved crossover to Lucentis. And when we see the benefit of patients after 12 months who were treated 2 years before versus the other half of patients who were treated 2 years after, it's materially different. We are talking about 1 to 2 letters benefit for patients who were treated late versus 10 letters of benefit for patients who were treating early. So therefore, to the response, is it okay to wait? I'm not sure. And I transparently encourage all the ophthalmology actually to start as soon as possible. Now, interestingly, the retina specialists, surgeons, are willing to treat early. It is really not about medical community not willing to treat early. They are willing to treat early. And the good news, and this is what they're saying to us from this survey, is if they have an injectable and if the patient lost only 5 letters, we have only 5% of doctors in the survey saying, I'm willing to treat. But if they have a topical, we have 70% of patients saying, I'm willing to treat. So therefore, potentially, if OCS-01 is successful and approved, it can completely and materially transform the way we treat patients and hopefully allow retina specialists to treat early and adapt the treatment to the patient need. So this is the big picture of the two segments we would like to address with a topical product. The first segment is early, is to early intervention. As soon as we have DME, we should treat. I mean, if you meet with the cardiologist and you say to him, if you have a heart disease, say to a patient, wait for the heart disease to be worse and come back to me, it is not acceptable. So we really should treat early. And I truly believe that with the topical, the retina will have the tool to treat early. The second segment is for patients who are not responding appropriately. And for this segment, if we have a topical product, it will actually allow the surgeon not only to switch, but potentially to combine between anti-VEGF and an anti-inflammatory, which should allow the surgeon to improve and deliver better outcomes. These are really the two segments we are addressing. This is not a product which is meant or designed to replace anti-VEGF. I personally don't believe it. I personally launched Lucentis. I know very well anti-VEGF. These are great drugs. However, we still need new tools to treat better our patient, to start early, and to treat them better after. This is really the goal of this drug. This drug is based on a technology which was created in Iceland. I was not involved, but very happy that the two co-founders of the company created this technology. It really allows the product to be highly concentrated, have a very long residence time, and penetrate the different barriers of the ocular tissues to be able to deliver enough concentration into the retina. And there are two experiments on the slide where comparing with what exists today.
Riad, can you summarize?
Okay. I will go to the end. So these are the results. The product showed consistent positive result in terms of BCVA and responders on CMT, on both segments, naive and previously treated, who were switched to OCS-01 with no, well-tolerated, with no unexpected adverse event. And just to put it in context, comparing with an implant with the same API, even if it is not a head-to-head, it's encouraging to see, comparing with the primary endpoint of orthodexis, is encouraging to see what OCS-01 can deliver. So this is where we are. The readout is planned in the beginning of June, and if positive, submission in the end of the year. Thank you very much.